9/11 changed my worldview. Started me on the path to thinking the way I do now. And you know what? Not everybody's cut out for that. If God forbid something like that happened again today, what would Joe Biden's response be? I don't know. I don't know where I am. I mean, Joe Biden literally today told yet another lie. He wasn't even at the World Trade Center today. He wasn't at the Freedom Tower. He wasn't at the 9/11 Memorial. He wasn't in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. He wasn't at the Pentagon. He was in Alaska. Why he was there, nobody knows. My guess why he was there is they want to avoid a major gaffe because he had a weekend filled with gaffes. His entire year has been filled with gaffes, and they didn't want one on 9/11. Well, my friends, they got one anyway. This is what Joe Biden said today at a military base in Alaska.
To renew our sacred vow, never forget, never forget. We never forget. Each of us, each of those precious lives stolen too soon when evil attacked. Ground Zero in New York, and I remember standing there the next day and looking at the building. I felt like I was looking through the gates of hell. It looked so devastating because from where you could stand.
You may think, what's wrong with that? Joe Biden actually sounds like he has energy. ABC News played that clip at the top of the hour. Within 5 minutes of him saying that, somebody goes, wait a minute, Joe Biden was there the day after 9/11? I don't remember that. Now, let me tell you something. As somebody who lived in New York, here's who I remember being around. I remember Rudy Giuliani, of course. I remember George Bush. I remember Governor Pataki. And I remember Hillary Clinton. Those were the politicians who were around all the time after 9/11. I don't remember Joe Biden being around anywhere. Within 5 minutes, Joe Biden got fact-checked, and yes, he was telling another lie. Where was he actually the day after 9/11? With all the other senators on the floor of the U.S. Senate.
The senator is recognized.
Mr. President, I can't think of any other legislative body in the world where you would hear the speech you just heard by the junior senator from Virginia, where his heart is aching, his constituencies, many in his constituency have died. Buildings in this state are still burning. And in the ultimate American way, he calls at the end of his speech for not abrogating the basic cherished liberties that this nation has. I doubt whether you would hear that on any other assembly in the world after such an attack. And I compliment him for it.
Now, that's Joe Biden at least being a little clear and level-headed back then. Sounds a lot better than he does now, that's for sure. There's clearly been an obvious decline. But Joe Biden lied again. He was nowhere near New York. He lied again, and this time on 9/11. And this is exactly what his staff was hoping to avoid. Not everybody's cut out to be a leader. Not everybody is cut out to be a leader. And you know what? Joe Biden, even when he was at the top of his game, was not cut out to be a leader. I remember how many times afterwards, when I was a young Republican trying to figure things out, I remember thinking to myself, man, what if Al Gore had been elected? What a disaster that would have been. What if Bill Clinton had been in office when 9/11 happened? He didn't do anything when they bombed the USS Cole. He didn't do anything when they bombed military barracks. Didn't do anything about that. When Osama bin Laden was handed to Bill Clinton on a silver platter, he didn't do anything about that. Nothing at all. George Bush did something. You want to agree right or wrong? He did something. He went after Osama bin Laden. He went after the Taliban. He cut the head off the snake. What happened afterwards? We can have a discussion about that. We can talk about the Patriot Act, but he went and did something. He went and tried to solve the problem, tried to make sure this country was safe, and we were. There were no other terrorist attacks on our soil for the length of his presidency. Barack Obama comes around, that all comes swinging right back because they know the Democrats are weak on national defense, the Democrats are weak on national security, and they're never going to do anything to retaliate. They just won't.